Greetings everyone, my name is Dead Spatula, and today I'm here to restart my gaming channel with a bit of a discussion on an issue that's been coming up a lot. To start off with, I've been leaving this channel a little bare. I'm looking to change that. And one of the ways I'm looking to change that is to start doing a discussion series instead of a maybe me trying to talk to inform people of my views and maybe try to change a few heads. An educational series as opposed to what I was doing, which is trying to be a reviewer, trying to be a critic, but not really doing it very well. So I want to retry this idea, but I'm going to try to maybe tackle some broader concepts on top of that, so on top of being a critic directly. Today's issue is Cuphead, but not the game itself. I've never played it, don't really care to, but it's the story of Cuphead and the entirely wrong question. You see, a lot of discussion of the 2017 game Cuphead revolves kind of around a single idea, a single question. Are games today too easy? Or another question is Cuphead too hard? But this is the wrong question. This question kind of leads to the biggest problem in the games industry today: homogenization. Far too many critics I've seen, including ones I really respect, like Total Biscuit, bought into this failure of a question. This question is all about the homogenization of games. And so when you ask that question, should games in general, as a whole, be harder? The answer is no, and the answer has to be no. But there's a different question we need to ask. Have game publishers failed to deliver games that appeal to a different market? And the answer is yes. The market of games with challenging difficulty is very underserved. Dark Souls came into it, and so now you've got the Souls-like games as game publishers try to dogpile on the newest thing. And now you've got Cuphead, a very what seems to be a very solid side-scrolling bullet hell shooter. That's you know, there are people who really like those types of games, and they haven't been getting them for a while. I don't think R-Type has seen releases in the West in a long time, and other similar bullet hell type games. In general, game publishers have been working towards a broad appeal, as they say, but what they've really been working towards is homogenization. They aren't trying to build a variety of games to appeal to different markets. They're trying to build one market that appeals to everyone. Every time someone finds an idea that works, they bandwagon on it. Open world games, everything's open world. Call of Duty's making money hand over fist. All right, it turns every game's going to be Call of Duty now. Modern military shooter. So, but the problem is using the Call of Duty example, everyone's trying to find a new Call of Duty, but that market already has the game it wants. Call of Duty. You can't keep, you can find some niches, maybe a sci-fi niche that appeals to people more than the modern military shooter. Call of Duty is moving towards a historic shooter with World War II, doing World War II, going back to World War II. Now it seems fresh. And so we're going to hope that, but, hopefully the military shooter genre isn't just going to continue to ape Call of Duty, but that's all it's doing. And so they're trying to chase after money that's already been gotten. It's not to say that gaming is zero-sum. Money can be made, but you need to find a different niche. You can't just keep going after the same niche. There is, in economics, the analogy of a pie. That is to say, a market, in a market, your consumers are only going to have so much money represented by the pie, and your companies are seeking to gain money from that market. And a lot of people think of this as a zero-sum game. If someone else gets some of the pie, I don't get that pie. And there's a lot of money in the Call of Duty pie, but it's pretty much going to Call of Duty, and you're not going to be able to, if you keep trying to extract that money, that Call of Duty money, you're not going to make that same money Call of Duty's making, because that pie is pretty set. But there is the idea in economics of expanding the pie. And in fact, game publishers have been shrinking the pie for years, going towards broader appeal and eliminating niche markets in the search of getting all the money. But you can expand the pie by finding other, niche, underserved markets. Cuphead is filling one for, this demanding bullet hell shooter. Dark Souls for hard, methodical combat instead of kind of the God of War or Bayonetta spectacle, combat we've been getting. We were getting in that kind of genre up to that point. Dark Souls filled a niche for a very challenging game that doesn't exist. I'm a huge fan of a more traditional JRPG design, something that has been going away, and so I was quite taken by Bravely Default, and I hope to see more of those types of games. I want a narrative, a driven narrative experience. A lot of people hit Final Fantasy 13 for being linear. I'm sorry, Final Fantasy has always been linear. It's just always generally been better at hiding it. Final Fantasy 13 was a little obvious, and that was kind of the problem, I think. So, and you can see this in a couple places where people have started finding these niche markets, and independents have been exploring them in medium budget productions. Hellblade Seyuna's Sacrifice is pretty good. I've played a bit of it. But they budgeted for the market they were looking at. And they budgeted for the market they were aiming for, which is to say they weren't looking for 5 million copies. They weren't looking to break sales records. So they budgeted properly and had a financially successful title. It's a problem that's actually all over media, but especially Hollywood right now, where they're failing to deliver mid-budget experiences, which makes them really risk-adverse and looking for the biggest audience possible, and that audience doesn't exist. Not to the level they need it to for the costs. They're driving up costs for these movies, but they're not adding a lot more value, and it's killing theaters, it's hurting Hollywood, and it's hurting the game market. But as I'm trying to say is, if you expand the market, that's why game publishers moved towards easier games in the first place. It's because by moving towards easier games, they're able to expand the market, get more people, bring more people in, expand the pie, make a bigger pie so that we can get less of the pie, but still get the same amount of pie. But in doing so, they've kind of lost that way, and now they're dropping difficult experiences entirely, which then starts shrinking the pie again. This is why the question, are games too easy, which I think is, are games today too easy, which is the question Total Biscuit asked a couple times, it misses the point entirely. We want those easy games. They're the ones that bring in new customers. some who couldn't play games. The accessibility modes in a lot of Nintendo, coming up in a lot of Nintendo games lately, are great because it brings in people who might not have the motor coordination skills to complete some of the more difficult challenges and have them still, experience it. Mario Kart. Yeah, you can beat the 50cc course, but you're not beating the 150cc course with the steer assist. But it helps people, especially kids or those with physical impairments who can't control the game to that level, to get a bit of fun out of it and feel like they're experiencing the game in ways that you can't otherwise. Not everyone wants a hard game. I generally don't like super high difficulty in my games. I just don't have a lot of time. I can't sit there for 3 hours and to memorize a boss's pattern down to the nanosecond and get through Cuphead. I'm not going to be able to do that. It's an experience I know I don't want. But there are people who want them. So the question is, that's the question. The real question is, do we need more hard games? Not, are games in general too easy? It's been said that if a games publisher can't make all the money, they prefer to make no money rather than just some of the money. And as we can see it all over our economy now, short-term gains are prized over long-term stability. Making that buck is more important than the long-term health of the market they're serving. But I hope that those of us who are critics, those who seek to inform the consumer, drive discussion, because really that's what criticism we see, the explosion of criticism we see here on YouTube is. It's people providing opinions, guiding consumers, informing consumers, not guiding them, informing them so that they can make their own decisions. And I really hope that those of us who try to do that, discuss this industry, which we all enjoy, recognize that it's not the dumbing down of games that's the problem, but that publishers have, in seeking broader appeal, failed to provide challenging experiences, provide for this niche market of challenging, almost punishing gameplay. And with that understanding, I really hope that, we critics can guide consumers to more experiences, provide exposure to more niche markets, and expand that pie, hopefully, so game publishers will seek out those, can actually latch on to those markets again. I want to see the JRPGs. I want to see the horror genres. I'd like to see someone do a proper look at survival. I want to see more Breath of the Wild. I want to see more Seiyuna's Sacrifices. I want to see them all. I want to see more games. That means more people work, more experiences. People can find the things they want, and that way my hobby gets better in the market and continues to succeed. With that, I have been Dead Spatula. I am Dead Spatula. I will be Dead Spatula. Please, strike up a conversation. Let me know what you think. Keep playing games.